Am I finally rolling? Yep. I think with finally. Sorry, you guys don't deserve this shit. I gotta figure this out. I gotta commit myself to OBS after this tonight. I'm so sick of this happening. Like, terribly unorganized. It's really time to fix things, guys. It's really time to fix things. But definitely here to talk GameStop tonight. Thank you for being here. If you're finally making your way here, or patiently waiting after all this shit. But thank you. Just get the ball rolling here, finally. There we go. All right. Ball is rolling. Hopefully audio and everything is good. No BS crashing tonight. Hopefully we're all chilling. So definitely gotta check out Superstonk. I know something I definitely need to do later is listen back to Dave Lauer's thing today with Gary Gensler. Definitely super interested to see what was said there. Already a lot of controversy on it. Seen a lot of different things out there. Got Platinum Sparkles in there as well. Very low volume today, by the way. Interesting. Also interesting. Gotta love the memes at the end of the day. But, excuse me, just get everything rolling here. But, sorry for the delay, guys. I really gotta fix all this. I really am gonna commit myself to OBS. This nonsense has to stop. Upgrades need to be made. You guys don't deserve this. Thank you for being here if you're here, for making your way here. So, go. Okay, perfect. I'm literally just making sure everything's working. Test the audio. You guys don't deserve this. Okay. So yeah, honestly, guys, full disclosure, this is just off the dome tonight. If for anybody watching this back or watching it live right now, just gonna go through things. I've honestly been off GameStop the past like 5-6 days. I had a long weekend, just a lot of different stuff going on. Trying to just work on a lot of different things. I know I keep saying this, but I really want to get myself in order in some other aspects of my life that'll really allow me to let my channel take off. Like I have some things that are taking more time right now than I'd would have hoped, but they're important things I have to take care of. So thank you all for being here and bearing with Tetron and just riding the waves with me in this journey of doing YouTube, GameStop, everything. So I'm really just going to kind of spend this stream to catch up on things, just off the dome thinking, anything you guys got, but just let it run. Oh my gosh, I thought that was the disconnected notification. So just do a quick scroll through Superstonk. Never forget about this garbage. See, very strong opinions on this from what I'm seeing out there. But something this does remind me, looking at this right here, the ownership. So I want to see the DRS calculator. I don't have the exact link offhand. Forget it. I think it's just like DRS GME. But if you look at the overall notifications, is it DRS GME? Sorry, not notifications. The notification on Twitter I got was from 741 Trey, or not a notification, but like what I came across was essentially a tweet of his that I'm going to go ahead and pull up as well, talking about that the institutional ownership is essentially 36% higher after all the recent filings. And now if we look at that, insider ownership institutions, I'm very curious what the other remaining shares would be at that point. And that's just like a lot of shares not trading. And I think this explains the low volume we've been seeing on GameStop. So certainly interesting. I'm glad I clicked your channel or checked your channel. Your stream moved to another video. Yes, Danzo, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, I've been a mess lately. Just trying to get things organized in terms of the stream. I'm really slacking on it. I really got to fix it. I really got to get this stuff in order. And definitely going to try and make more videos soon. That's something I got to get back at. Got to get on track here. But overall, 2.1 million volume, so low. My movies are getting large. Mr. Doodle, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Let's see the garbage news. Again, for those of you just joining, I'm just kind of glancing through. I haven't really been keeping up with GameStop, so just kind of getting caught up right now. It's interesting, this headline, I don't want to even give them the click of this garbage article, just throwing GameStop with these trash names. 1.5 billion a day in equities in January. So that's definitely interesting because if you look at GameStop down here, obviously most of the market started rallying in January, and it was really at a low at that point, or low it had been rather. So what you're definitely seeing is a lot of people buying various stocks. I'm certainly not saying it's just GameStop this is happening to, but you can't help but think when you look at like GameStop the past year is one of the lowest periods, and we've seen consistently that in this area, a lot of individuals buy the stock, and in this area now, we've been seeing a lot of institutions buy in, and a lot of large institutional holdings are becoming like 300% larger, and I just think that's very interesting to look at. Should make a video about how big my muscles are, brah. 100, Mr. Doodle. Send pics. No, just kidding. I don't know, man. I think I'll just stick with GameStop. Dante Fuego, AMC to the moon. Dante, I don't know about that. To me, I'm really just a GameStop guy, but that's just me. You do you. Question, did you see the HBO Max teaser of The Last of Us has GameStop in the mall with a rocket on the window? Oh, I did see that picture that was in the show, like very subtly, but I didn't recognize, like I just kind of glanced past it, like somewhere in my feed at some point, but I didn't really recognize that it actually had a rocket on it. I'm trying to look it up. The Last of Us GameStop. See if it comes up. I don't really know. Oh, it's going to come up to actually buy it. Yeah, I bet this game is selling like crazy now. Oh, wait a minute. Yo, I just got the greatest idea. I literally have this game. I should sell it. That was the thought I was having right there. Not selling for that much, but maybe it's not that popular. I thought since the show was out, but let's see, GameStop scene. Maybe it'll come up if I just put Reddit. Oh, okay, whatever. We're just getting garbage articles. Hell yeah. Thanks for being here. But overall, this is something I absolutely have to listen to. Dave Lauer's thing. I suppose I could do like a react, but I don't know, that's not really exactly what I had planned for today. But I'm certainly curious what's going on right here. Certainly curious. But mostly I'm curious because unfortunately there seems to be a lot of controversy around it. So I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting to hear. I would like to think in terms of like what Dave Lauer's doing and just some of these things going on. I know there's a lot of controversy at it, right? But I'm just gonna say what I think. I think it's one of those things. He really has good intentions, and it's another one of those things in the sense, unless a lot of individuals put a lot of attention on it, nothing's really ever going to get done. So I think he goes for the get anybody that's on board with it. And people say, oh, it doesn't ask about DRS and this and that. Certainly want to hear about that. But to me, it's one of those things like I just feel like good about DRSing and just someone's out there talking about this. They don't have to be directly GameStop. But I understand the sense like people associate him with GameStop and the sense that other stocks, like the meme stocks, like the AMCs, the Bed Baths, these other names that I don't know, their financials just really aren't there, right? And there's a lot of different potentially problems. I'm sure some of these companies can maybe work through it. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm not saying none of them will. But I'm just saying I believe in GameStop and everything going on here. So I think, there's great with a lot of attention on this in terms of just people becoming aware because in all of history, I feel like a lot of the strange things happening in the market have started as a result of individuals not really understanding how things work. So, having said that, you need somebody out there that's trying to kind of just guide the overall thing. And I would say just get as much attention on it as in general, even if that means there's going to be a lot of people that are maybe ignorant or like what I guess what I'm saying is like nobody should just go out there and make investment decisions like based off listening to this and just naturally associate the stocks. I think he's just pushing for the good. Like I think Dave has good intentions. That's just kind of my opinion. But you know, I'm gonna listen to this and say what I really think. So that's before even listening to that. But from what I've heard in the past, I totally understand the criticism, but like I don't think of like he's not like a West Christian like that's like suspiciously working with all these companies to like fight back against the shorts. That I thought a while back West Christian was a good guy. But that's just kind of my thoughts on the overall scenario. Again, without having listened to it. So let me be very clear. If I haven't listened to it, it's a very broad statement, right? And you could probably interpret that in a million ways if you're thinking I have listened to it. Let's see, the rocket is grayed out, so maybe it means Moaz happened just before the apocalypse. That would be crazy, Danzo. I hope not. I just want GameStop stock to go up. I'm not really trying to focus on anything insane happening. I want a normal, like, structured world. I pains me to see like all these crazy things going on. And if there is some type of apocalypse, like I don't want to live through that. That's scary. Yeah. I mean, whatever happens, right? But no, I'm just playing. Moas is tomorrow, I hear. Eric, rumor has it Moas has always been tomorrow, but that's just what they say. But also, I should probably edit the stream name. Oh, all right, everyone's coming in. Blessed. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Edit the talking GameStop stock. Let's say thinking out loud about GameStop. Oh, I need to plug in my computer as well. Thinking out loud about GameStop stock. There we go. Thinking. Oh, let's just think. I don't know. Strange thing. I'm sure someone out there has noticed, or at least a couple people, but I always capitalize the first letter of almost everything in my titles. I don't know. I just feel like it has a cleaner look. I don't know if it's just me, but thinking out loud about GameStop stock, Tetron Live. But yeah, I'll show you guys something too that I've been looking at. Low key, I might grab this to really improve the stream because I really feel like it's worth it for like $10 a month or whatever it is, and like it'll also keep me committed if I'm like, okay, I'm paying a little bit. I want to really make sure I'm invested in what I'm doing. But let's see, get the notification, the like, bless Danny, thank you, appreciate you, man. Okay, so we got some comments. Let's see. Don't worry, not one of those apocalypse fear porn lovers. I know too many people who want the end of the world. Haha. That's true, Danzo. That's true. It's kind of scary. It's kind of crazy out there. Um, One of the swaps do? That's a good question, LA. I don't have the data offhand right now. If somebody has the link and wants to tag it to me on Twitter real quick and reply to the stream or something, I'll definitely pull it up. But from what I remember, the year-over-year data of the swaps are just how many swaps exist now relative to like 2021, for example. There's a large difference, and it seems like there's a lot less swaps now, which I find interesting. It seems like those that are expiring would be theoretically leaking. I don't, not anything like in terms of a genius on swaps, but it seems like there's less swaps out there now, and the reason would be nobody wants to hold the bag because a swap agreement, what I do know for sure, is between a long and a short, or between two parties, whatever the position is. So if somebody's on the short end of the stick, you don't want to get stuck holding that bag. But the whole idea is, it swaps. Banks do things like CDs, certified deposits amongst each other, back and forth for interest rates. So they're constantly like loaning each other money. That's just the banking system. So swaps are just loaning positions. It's a swap agreement. Let's swap positions. So just same kind of idea. So I guess what I'm saying is if somebody's on the short end of the stick, the other person might be on the short end of the stick in another position. So I feel like swaps, we see what we see, but again, how the whole general swaps and market as a whole is structured, it's so difficult to just understand and make sense of it because the data simply is just not transparent, not clear, and unless you're heavily educated on it and have the right software, you're just simply not going to be able to see everything and view everything, in my personal opinion. Let's see. GME finally showing significant profit during earnings and announcing a buyback would really screw over the shorts whenever that's going to be. I agree very much, Movier. I really think it boils all down to that. And that's where I like to focus my energy these days because I feel like all the other things out there, it all is centered down to that, right? Like that's what's most important, because if the company does that, all those other things are going to follow. I just think it's a natural progression, and it's going to be an exciting progression to watch, in my opinion. It's all about earnings, DRS, and positive catalysts for now. Not much else matters. Sounds right to me, Ryan Song. Definitely certainly looks like interesting things that you mentioned that are interesting to keep an eye on. But what I wanted to see, 741 Trey. He puts out great stuff. Shout out to him or her. Yeah, it must be him. um, Nathan from I didn't realize he has Nathan from Florida tagged on here. My boy. He's such a homie. Nathan's a great guy. It was great talking to him. I don't know if you guys caught that stream, but it was a great conversation. Obviously, I was nervous. I've never interviewed anybody, but he's super cool, dude. This is insane. Shown below are OCC position currently optional at 1/3 of the shares outstanding. It's very interesting considering how many shares are directly registered and owned by insiders. See, he puts out very, very interesting stuff. Like, let's guys take a look at this for a moment. I think it's certainly good. Just grab some water. Yeah, so Trey puts out some pretty good information. Yeah, see the latest filings, all massive increases. According to the most recent GME filings, institutions now own 136 million shares, and 38% increase. So it went from 98.46 million to 136 million. That is pretty wild. So we just pull up like a blank Excel, right? Oh yeah, I should do it in the GameStop spreadsheet. What am I doing? But what I want to calculate now is just shares outstanding. We should just let's see. All right, where was it? GameStop spreadsheet. Okay. Oh, what are the requirements to buybacks? So they have 2/4 of profitable earnings. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head, LA. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if that would have to be pre-written in what the company had before in terms of their buyback program, or I don't think it's some kind of rule. I think it's just based on what the company had when they initiated their buyback program, because I know they have a small buyback available that they could initiate at any time. But my theory is in the long run, with strong profits, we'll see a new buyback plan that will be much more aggressive, and I think that would be awesome to see. But we're going to start a new sheet here. Slowly build this over time. It's gonna be like shares outstanding. I feel like I have something for this, but I don't really want to just pull up all my random Excel files on the stream here. So I don't want to pull it up right now. But I just want to calculate, shares outstanding. I think it's like about 305 million off the top of my head. We have DRS shares, institutional. Then we have, because I want to use that number Trey put out there, just for theoretical purposes, and we can theorize on what we think the DRS will be. Institutional, insiders. Well, actually, I'd rather put this here. I'm stupid. Okay. Whatever. Just trying to delete this row. Thank you. Okay. So I'm very curious. That would give us like the remaining shares. Let's do some quick math, and just we can mess with these numbers and think if they were to get bought back, if shares were to get bought back, right, etc. Shares were to get issued. It's just fun to look at the share count, in my opinion. Ask GGP if Mo asks for sure tomorrow. That's a good question, honestly. I mean, we could, but definitely go ask and let me know. But right now, I kind of want to do this. But if you remind me in a little bit, I'll pull it up there later, because I always like to mess with Chat GPT here and there. But I did ask you last time something about like is it GameStop gonna go up a lot this year, something like that. It's like, oh, most certainly, I would keep an eye on it or something like that. But then I asked about AMC, and it's like, oh, AMC's going up a lot. I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. So let's pull up these numbers real quick. can use. I already have Yahoo Finance pulled up. GameStop. There we go. Investor relations. Question. Or hey, I saw that we have a number of shares shorted, more than the actual float, over 58 million. I saw on Twitter. Interesting. Question. How many percent of shares does Ryan Cohen need to remain chairman? I don't know the number exactly, Danzo, but I think it's more so he has that position now, and he would have to be voted out in some way. I don't think it's exactly tied to the share count, but that's something I would have to look into more. But something else that's interesting, I think a lot of people forget, Ryan Cohen could still buy. I think the maximum is 80 million shares outstanding. I think he owns like 20. I forget the exact number he owns off the top of my head. I just know he owns like 12% of the company alone in terms of percentage, and like he's most of the insider ownership. Maybe he's like 11.9%, but essentially he can own up to 20%. So you have to think, if he made a massive buy down the line, that would be crazy, especially with so many shares tied up at this moment in time, as we're going to kind of see here. One day we shall moon. Theron, I think you're right. I just think, over time, it's really, I'm starting to learn. It's just really all about the journey. Like, I'm in no rush at this point, because you also have to think in terms of long term, and eventually at some point when you're going to choose to sell. I know you can't say that, right? But in the long term, if the stock were to just go up so much like tomorrow, right, and you were to sell, then you're in a situation where if you bought shares over the past 365 days, there's a lot more taxes than whereas you had it in the long term. So for tax purposes in the long term, I think being a long-term investor is better. That's what a lot of people don't realize with short-term trading is tax differences. So long-term capital gains tax, please don't quote me, not financial advisors, just off the dome here. I believe it's 15%, and short-term is about 35%, maybe 30. So significantly more tax for capital gains in less than a year's time compared to a long-term, more than a year's time. That's why also if you're going to flip a house, theoretically, I believe, I don't know anything about flipping, but from what I've heard or kind of understand, it would make sense that it's the same rule. You're going to flip it, you're going to fix it throughout that 1 year, hope it's raise its value up and whatever, this and that, and then pay 15% on whatever you make net, or I don't know exactly, but that's out of my wheelhouse. He could buy at any moment since the price is lower. It's true, LA. He's bought around this range before, so I don't see why he wouldn't again. I mean, I just think I don't know. I love Ryan Cohen, and I know everybody adores him, and like he's just such a legend. And it sounds cliche what I'm about to say, but I really believe he's just he's got it. Like, I just believe in what the guy's doing. Like, I just really do, and I trust him. Like, I don't blindly trust him, but I just feel like he's not buying right now because he thinks buying in the future will be more significant, or he feels as if he's bought enough. Like, I don't know, whatever his reason is. Like, I just feel like he's got it. Like he's got it. But the idea that he could buy at any moment is so exciting. Like, I 100% know what you mean. So I think that's pretty awesome as well. So shares outstanding. Okay, we'll use this number 304.2. We'll round up just to be safe. We'll do 305. I'm gonna do millions. Get rid of this garbage font. Let's use a nice font. Big, thick font. This shit bigger too. Go. Let's see. I think when stocks are over 400,000 total, capital gains taxes, whether it's long or short, at least in California, highest long capital gains tax is 20% max. Oh, okay, yeah. So obviously, I have to look into that more, but let's get into this here. Yeah, I forget exactly off the top of my head, but it is tax season, so I am actually gonna, you know, clearly I should too. I've always kind of done like TurboTax and like just had simple stuff to upload, but I want to sit down with someone this year and like really understand and just learn to benefit myself the best way possible and just understanding the tax system, right? Things like that. So, a lot to learn, but that's why we're here, right? So, thanks for being here. Dear SGME, short-term tax is just regular income tax rates. Okay, that makes sense, dear SGME. But I feel like still long term is better. I don't know the exact comparison, but overall, I think long term's there. Why do the numbers look so tiny? But thank you all for being here, by the way. I really appreciate you all. I'm just gonna run some quick math here, just literally just messing around. And yeah, guys, I know I keep saying this too, but I'm really, really trying to like get some other things in my life organized so I could really present myself on a channel in a better way. I feel like my streams, I'm just like, yeah, and like I got some good information, we got good energy, like you guys are awesome in the chat and just watching. But I really feel like I could get myself like there's a next level here that I really need to take myself to. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of struggling to get there a little bit, but I appreciate like all of you being here with me so much. Like I just want to say that. And this is just such a great journey in terms of GameStop and YouTube. So just want to say that. Thank you all so much. And part of it too is just learning. Like I think that's kind of the best part, that anybody that's watching is literally watching me learn and learning themselves, hopefully. So DRS count. What is, I don't even have it. What's the DRS bot website? DRS GME. Is it? No, I think it's drsgme.org. I want to get the count. Okay. So yeah, this is interesting. DRS is estimated to be 87.6. Oh no, that's as of, right? Oh no, it's in here. Let's just see. I forget. Complete. Like I said, guys, I haven't looked at anything GameStop. I feel like in almost a week. Transfer agent. I'm trying to think of the word they always use. 71.8 million. Okay, so the estimate is 87 million right now. That makes sense. It's pretty low, but I'm gonna lowball it just for the heck of it. I'm gonna say 85. And if we look at insiders, oh yeah. Blessings, everyone. Challenger, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Danza, okay, yeah, check California's website again. It's 20% long term plus state pack, so 32.3 plus 1% over 1 million. Ah, interesting. Appreciate the info, Danza. It's always good. See, that's like the right mentality. Danza knows what's up. If you hear something or like it means something, you're like, all right, let me go look into that, figure out what it is so I can learn something there. So shout out to you, Danza. So there's no direct insiders in here, but could do, well, let's just do the percentage. So just again, we're using rough numbers here. So if we do 15.5% times the shares outstanding. Forgot my equals. Little Excel class right here. Boom. Control click. So that's that many shares. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to, nope. Thank you. Fantastic. Nope. Okay. So institutional. And then what Trey tweeted. So I don't know exactly how he calculated this number, but again, oh, look at that. Short spike to 98%. Certainly interesting. But that's just a max borrow rate, so it could mean nothing. So let's say first, like just the 100 million, what it was before. So it'd be this number minus this plus this plus this. So 73 million shares remaining. That's with 100 institutional shares. If institutional shares is now, 136 million, you do the math, you can see what's going on here. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to watch. These are just the non-registered shares. And you'd have to think, right? On a day like today, we're only, what, 2 million shares were traded? Is that the number? It's crazy how low it is. 2.1 million, incredibly low. On a day like today, whoa, no. Everything was beautiful. Why did I have to? There we go. Okay. On a day like today, only 2.1 million shares traded right here. You have to think just a lot of shares aren't traded, right? Maybe a little bit of institutional buying at some point, or just whatever market makers are trading this and that. But not many of them could be these remaining shares, because it's interesting if these are truly the numbers that are going on. we're in a situation where DRS shares is almost, I would say more like 2.5 times, let's say almost three, but probably more like 2.5 times unregistered shares, because you have to consider individuals, institutions, and just imagine Ryan Cohen or another board member came in and bought shares right now. And keep in mind, they're being compensated in shares, but I don't have 100% I don't want to say this for 100% certainty, but from how I understand it, when they're being compensated in shares, it's not coming from these shares right here. So just to clarify that. But from what I understand, it's new shares, but if they're seeing this and this number is going up, right? But as this number is going up, this number is also going up. But this number relative to this number, they're still like, wow, that's crazy. Look at this ownership. And I think what's going on with institutional shares, we see this in Wall Street a lot, and just historically speaking, generally, stocks will be shorted down, beat down heavily over time. Lots of puts are bought on them. A lot of people, and people in terms of like institutions, fund managers, whatever, make a lot of money from all kind of, generally just something just pushing one way. Generally, just it's just kind of the sentiment, or everyone just kind of hops on the bandwagon. I think it's kind of as simple as that. It's not all, everybody's talking to everybody 24/7, but everybody's generally in touch, I would say, in some aspects. But what I'm kind of saying here is, it's the bandwagon, and everybody's see, oh, well, he's doing it, she's doing it, she's doing it, I might as well hop on it too. That's kind of like, I feel like what kind of goes on amongst the hedge fund managers in a sense. But what I'm saying here is everybody generally kind of follows the same song and dance. So you kind of see it go down and down, beat down, negative sentiment, puts, this and that. Then all of a sudden, everything just happens to start to flip. And when the stock price starts rising, they get in at just the bottom and make money the whole way up after making money the whole way down. You see what I'm saying here? So it's pretty encouraging to see institutional shares going up a lot, even though people say, oh, they're loaning them out to short sellers. I think undoubtedly that's happening, and undoubtedly there's still a lot of things going on with option chains, swaps, we were talking about a little bit before, and just various different things. But what is for sure is, shares that are registered, those are not amongst those things. And as insiders potentially own more shares, as more shares are registered to individuals, those institutional shares, they kind of become like hot potatoes in a sense, where it's like everybody needs them. Or I guess not hot potatoes, like a deliciously double baked potato. Deliciously cooked, double baked, or fuck. Deliciously double. I don't know how you'd like the proper grammar for this, but double baked potato coming out of the oven. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants them before they're gone. If the shares are in high demand, that's kind of situation for anybody shorting it, because you'd have to think, yes, some of these are being loaned out to short sellers and using various different things, but at the end of the day, someone, kind of like the swaps we're talking about before, it's a counterparty agreement. There's two people on each side. In terms of a short, somebody's long. So somebody wants to own the share to loan it out, because you don't want to just forever, loan out a share. Yes, you're making great interest, but you have to see something in the company underlying. If you're going to increase your position massively to just loan out more, there has to be something there underlying, in my opinion. I think that's what the perspective is of the general institution buying right now. Let's check chat. One day we shall moon. Ask because I think Ryan may sell a few shares during Moss. Don't think he'd sell too much though. Denzo, I think anything's possible, man. Anything's certainly possible. We're gonna see, and just all part of the ride. He could buy at the moment since price is lower. I think when stocks are over 400,000, capital gains is the same as whether it's long or short term in California. My bad, guys. Got lost I got behind the chat. Short term taxes, regular income taxes. Oh, I read this already. Yeah. Did I read this already? Oh my goodness. Thanks, we're here to learn. Like the stock. How long does it take transfer from Fidelity to computer share? It's very quick. They do it within a few business days. I personally transfer my shares. When I want to buy GameStop shares, I buy in Fidelity, and then I transfer the computer share. Fidelity's been good to me. They have good service with it. They even have like a Fidelity virtual assistant that you can do it with now. You used to be able to call them, then you were able to message them online to do it, and now you're actually able to use their virtual assistant. But yeah, what a time to be alive, right? So much going on. Definitely gotta keep these profiles going. See, again, guys, big thing I'm working on, organization. Gotta get more organized. See, this is okay, but, sloppy. LA, not sure from Fidelity, but TD Ameritrade took me 4 days. Oh, see, 24/7. Let's see. So you can even just do it here. DRS transfer. Oh, see. I want to direct register my shares. See, look at this. Book entry form directly with the computer, the company, or its transfer agent. Sheet of DRS transfer. Learn more about DS. Check on the status of a DRS transfer so you can actually track it along the way as well. Learn who legally owns my shares, Fidelity or me. What happens when my shares are sent to the transfer agent? Can I do a DRS transfer while I have unsettled shares? Can I direct register shares in an IRA? See, the fact that these questions are here means I understand this now from working in like entry level type of financial job, right? Where what this means is whoever manages the Fidelity virtual assistant and they have company meetings, whatever team it is that manages it when they had a meeting, it came up that this is something that should be addressed. So they added it to Fidelity's virtual assistant and they specifically added this information because individuals are asking about it. And that's kind of back to what I was saying a little bit before, more towards the beginning of the stream, in the sense where people ask questions or bring things up. That's what brings things to have attention over time. And I think that's the same with a lot of different things, but I think mostly with GameStop and DRS here, seeing the fact that Fidelity has these questions shows that individuals are asking, and it's great because it's a legitimate source for information. Fidelity's a legitimate brokerage. I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I know there's lots of opinions out there in terms of brokerage versus transfer agent. But what I'm saying is Fidelity compared to like Webull or like Robinhood, you can call Fidelity at any time, and you're actually going to get someone that's going to at least be able to give you some general, simple information. Whereas Robinhood, they just added phone service like a couple of years ago. You used to only be able to email them. They were just like a bare bones operation. But over time, a lot of different things have evolved in the financial industry. So it's kind of interesting to me, to stay mainstream. Robinhood's had to adapt more of a customer service style because of the whole January 2021 type of event and the controversy, negativity associated with their name. Still a lot of people use them, right? But it's funny because all these other custodians or brokerages, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, etc., they all switched to $0 fee structure because of Robinhood. Robinhood truly changed the game with that, and to be able to compete, all these different companies did this, and then all these different companies, started routing orders. Market makers, like I forgot what's called. Where they paying payment for order flow. Payment for order flow. That's what it is. So that's kind of how that's all started. So it's interesting how this stuff kind of all becomes like full circle in a sense, right? Like it's certainly interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna take the transfer from Fidelity Computer Share. Was there a cost of TD? I have shares in both Fidelity and TD. TD requires you to fill and send their forms internal message system. No cost in TD. Is there a fee to transfer from Fidelity to Computer Share? Not fees associated, Wendy. And Wendy, thank you for being here. Form TDA 371. Spreading the knowledge. And just, full disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor. Please, everyone, always make your own individual decisions. I'm only here to present thoughts and opinions, but always do your research. Like, if you're going to transfer your shares somewhere, be absolutely certain you understand what you're doing with your shares and, your money. So, truly do your due diligence. I just wanted to say that. But back to GameStop. But if we mess with these numbers, what if this number goes to 150? What if this number, it drops to 120? And even if this number, comes in at only 80, like a little bit underwhelming, this number just stays at like 47, right? Still, relative to shares remaining to DRS and insiders, it's very, very interesting. And I think we'll see volume continue to tail off if this remaining shares, after you subtract insiders, institutions, and DRS from shares outstanding. I think when you start to do that and you see remaining shares in between the range of directly registered shareholders and insiders, it's interesting. And some may say, oh, well, DRS doesn't mean nobody's going to sell, and insiders doesn't mean nobody's going to sell, etc. And, institutions, if they're loaning this and that, yeah. But overall, if there is just profitability of the company and success of the company, like these numbers are like interesting to look at, but they're just numbers, right? In the sense, it's just the amount of shares out there. It's just where the shares are located. And if you saw the Thomas Petterfee or whatever interactive brokers guy talk on CNBC, he said something interesting where he was talking about GameStop. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's trying to get everyone to sell and this and that. And he says, I don't know, he just like talks in circles. What he says doesn't even like make any sense. I don't know because he's old or like what's going on there, right? Whatever. But what he said, well, that was very interesting, and I actually saw a Reddit comment on this that made me like, oh yeah, that was interesting when he said that. He said, without profitability or growth, these companies like will never it'll always be the same story, just meme stocks. That's what he was essentially saying, or I don't remember word for word what he said. But what I think was interesting about that is, I think it kind of just shines some light on the fact if the company's profitable and just successful, and then eventually uses that to return value to shareholders, which I think is very likely, considering insiders are shareholders themselves, then I think it's just a natural progression when you look at a short squeeze and just overall in price improvement of GameStop stock. So in the long term, it's going to be very exciting to see. I mean, looking back at this, imagine looking back at this one day in hindsight and thinking this looks like nothing. It's going to be a remarkable day, in my opinion. I think that's what ultimately will happen. We'll look at that and we'll be like, remember January 2021? We thought that was crazy. But you have to wonder. I know it's another controversial thing, so to speak. What will happen with these other names? Do you guys know how I feel about AMC? Right? You know how I feel. But if it doesn't go bankrupt before GameStop starts erupting in price action in some way, then you have to wonder, will it spike in some way? Will it crash even more? Are there swaps associated with like what will be? I feel like there'll be dramatic price action with AMC, but a lot of people are like, oh, the basket theory and this and that, or Bed Baths in the basket. But I feel like what if they're like tied to it and then those positions blow up, and maybe they're blowing up right now, and if it's one of those like long Bed Bath, long AMC, and short GME type of swap, I don't know exactly it'd be written or whatever which way, but you'd have to think if you're undoing that, GameStop start to go up a little. Pastor, has a little bit of positive price improvement, and maybe it's being short another way now to contain the quote unquote leaky swaps. But then theoretically, the long AMC, long BBBY positions in that swap are now being sold off because then the short position of GameStop is being bought to cover. Then in theory, AMC and Bed Bath, it's then being sold because the position's leaking, whereas GameStop's then being covered and bought, but maybe then shorted in some other way, and it kind of negates it, so you don't see it there. But then in AMC and BBBY, nobody's trying to negate it by going back and going long again, you know what I mean, after there's a sell, if that kind of makes sense. But that's kind of my thought process on that. But there's information there. And yeah, guys, I do apologize, but it's gonna be a nice, short and sweet stream tonight. I'm gonna try and get a video out there as well tomorrow morning. So I do want to get to bed early. I'm trying to sleep more. Just take better self care. Better for the channel, for Tetron, for myself. It's gonna be a good day when you hit shuffle and the first song is "Deliver It" by Whoosh. Dude, this guy's awesome too. He just seems like such a homie. Tweeted with him a couple times. Maybe I should have him on one day. That could be interesting for like an interview or something. I brainstorm all these things, but it's all about execution. So I just gotta execute. I can talk about it, all this and all that, but until I execute, it's all just talk, right? It's gonna be a good day when you hear it. It's funny. See, there's some good songs out about like GameStop, and I think they're just funny. I love the idea of just individuals liking a stock so much. I like the stock so much. I want to make a channel mostly talking about it, right? And this guy likes the stock so much, and he likes to rap and make hip hop, and he's like, all right, I'll make it about GameStop because I like GameStop too. Like, he's just like, cheers, broskies. Tweet if you like the stock. Canes or Chick-fil-A. Like, I don't know, I think he tweets funny stuff too. I think he's a good follow on Twitter. Shout out to him. But yeah, I gotta listen to this back as well. That's something I want to do tonight, and then I can kind of, I guess, do a reaction video. But there's a lot of different reactions out there, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think, I guess one of the biggest threats to individuals talking about the stock amongst each other, I don't want to say threat, but like the worst on most unhealthy thing in my opinion is division, in the sense like, oh, how could you think that? Oh, I can't believe you said that. Like all that nonsense, right? You have to recognize, if you just like talk about, like we talk about GameStop here, like I'm just talking about it out loud. Individuals comment stuff, it gives me thoughts, it makes someone else think something, comment something. It's really just about bouncing ideas off and like doing research over time. So see, this is also interesting. Forcible royalties. So it's just things like that. And like I'll just look at this right now, and maybe this makes you think of something to research in the future. Like even we were talking about like capital gains tax before, and like Danzo was looking it up in like California's website in terms of, or like wherever. But point is, he looked it up, right? That I'm like rambling here, but point is like people are actively researching and communicating, and be like, okay, well, you might hear. There's definitely, it has to be at some point something I've said. You're like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, or like, oh yeah, like yeah, I don't know what he's. I don't think he's right there, whatever. But you're still here right now, so you don't think I'm that much of an idiot, right? So my point is, it's okay to like agree to disagree, and like it doesn't always have to be a conflict. And I feel like we're so much so now, like just how society is like, oh, how do you think that? What? Like it's just like, I don't know, just agree to disagree, like, and then like just whatever, and just talk about whatever the common thing is you want to talk about. Don't just think, oh, that one factor, so now we can never talk about this same thing we both like, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's kind of why division's just bad. But why would they tweet this out right now? That's what I'm wondering real quick. Enforceable, if it's from November, enforceable royalties are the only way NFT and gaming economies work long term. NFT royalties on Immutable are protocol guaranteed if the marketplace or creator protected ongoing monetization from any marketplace assets trade. Interesting. All right. I mean, I have to read this a little bit more, but something I'm thinking of right now is individuals utilizing the marketplace in terms of, now we have the game Buck Bunny. You were able to buy, you know, an NFT that's an in-game character for that. And now I'm seeing, like, someone correct me if I'm wrong, you can now use that same character in Kiraverse. That's incredibly exciting. Like you're able to buy a character that's jumping from game to game, and like those are two completely different games. And I think GameStop did that to make someone like me realize that, like, wait a minute, how did they just do that? That's crazy. And as more games start to hop on board, and the Immutable X program, I would imagine this is part of it in enabling this, and GameStop building up its marketplace and having the immutable grants, so people are incentivized, to build on immutable, and then utilize. If they're building on immutable, then they'll actually have the marketplace on GameStop's market. I mean, rambling here, right? Still have to do more research on this. Getting a little bit out of my wheelhouse here. But what I'm saying here is, if you put it simply, you see now an in-game character able to be used in various games of various different styles. And I think that's very, very exciting in terms of Web3 and what it's all about. And I really just want to get a good computer so I could definitely stream some games. Like, I think that would be awesome. Um, See, I am a little bit nervous with this end, if somehow somebody could see this. But I do want to show you guys some random NFTs randomly, just cause, since we're on the topic of Web3. But check what GameStop's marketplace looks like. Do we read this here? See, this is old though. That's why I'm like keep not decide not to read it. I'm like keep looking. Like, should I read it? No, but it must be something added. Plans to galvanize by shielding more than. Okay. Interesting. If you guys want to read along really quick. Okay. Interesting. Yes, I don't know what this is. Interesting. Yes, yeah, I want to read about that. Interesting. Yeah, alright. A lot of information here. Let's see. New NFT. Okay. Cost of less enforcement compared to whitelist. Choose whether project falls on the spectrum. More aggressive protection may be acceptable trade-off for games and artists who core smart contract and base their models on royalty protection. All right, so what I'm reading from this altogether, just kind of skimming through it here, uh, ultimately, it's customability for the creators and those that are going to onboard games to GameStop's marketplace, or just in general in doing a Web3 game. It's all about customability, and I don't think any game developer is going to want to go on to Web3 in any way or be associated with it if it like means, oh well, that aspect of the game can't be that way. Sorry, that's just not how Web3 works. I don't think that would be a good way for it to be presented. So I think something that's important is the customability and just being able to change it and make it however the game creator intends it to be, or it needs to be adjusted, etc. So I think this is interesting stuff here that it can definitely be customized. But let's see here. Yeah, again, this seems like a lot. But see, this is interesting that this came out the end of 2020. Imagine buying the first NFTs in 2020. What was it? CryptoPunks. I saw this like YouTube short once of like Mr. Beast saying, "Oh, yeah, this guy Gary Vee, or I think it was him. He got us all on a call. It was like 10:30 at night. He's like, CryptoPunks, nesting." He's like in a little Zoom corner with like 500 people or 50 people or something, and he's like, CryptoPunks, buy some. And Mr. Beast was like, I don't know, all right. And he said he bought them, I think, or something crazy. And it's kind of crazy. That guy Gary Vee seems to always be ahead of the curve. He's an interesting dude. I know he's also kind of controversial, I guess, but I think he's a good dude. I think he has good intentions and like he really means what he says. He's a little nuts, but like I think he just vibes with it. Like I think I'm a little nuts, you know what I mean? Like, and I really think that guy's gonna buy the Jets. He always says it, and everyone thinks like, what the heck? I really think he will. He's crazy enough. He believes it enough, and he works hard. Like I think he's gonna do it. But two of them, not a true gamer, but I love the way they look. Facts, Wendy. I'm not like a huge gamer. I loved gaming when I was a kid, so that's really like where my heart is with it. But now I feel like just life, and don't get me wrong, one of my favorite things to do when I have like the boys over, or just even just chilling with whoever that's down to play. But mostly like the boys, get some beers, make it a drinking game, play like Beerio Kart, where it's like pour everybody beer. By the way, don't try this at home, kids. Those of you under 21. But basically, uh, pour beer in a bunch of cups for everybody playing. And then each time you turn off the computers, like the CPUs, and each time you pass a lap, then you put down your remote. And the rule is you can't play, like you can't press the gas while you're drinking your beer. So you have to put down your remote entirely, chug your entire beer, and then take the next lap. And if you do it with like 3 beers, it's crazy. Or like I would do this, you could customize it however you want to. But that's Burial Kart, and I love just doing that, like hanging out, gaming, just having some drinks, like with the boys, with the homies, whoever's around, that's down to game. I think that's awesome vibes. In the house, very informative. Lex Friedman had him on his podcast. It's interesting, Oliver's, and thank you for being here. Appreciate you. But yeah, it's always good to see some interesting people out there. I wonder, was that recently? Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman's a cool dude too. He's interesting. He's very, very interesting. There's certain people like, if I blow up in this content game, YouTube game, whatever you want to call it, like Lex is a guy I would love to talk to. Like I feel like we just have a great conversation. Um, just like Joe Rogan is an obvious one. Like that'd be so amazing to like talk to some of these individuals, just because they're like so open minded and just I really just love. I'm fascinated by how they think and their brains and this and that. So, but I'm definitely curious if it was recent. My husband is a big gamer. He loves COD and Diablo. Nice. Yeah, COD is an absolute classic. Class. What was I gonna say? Modern Warfare 2, legendary. Black Ops 2 Zombies with the boys, legendary. Guys, what up, Solid Nate? Thank you for being here. I feel like some of the drivers on my way home playing that game 3 classes. Yeah, GTA. I never played GTA much, but that's an absolute classic as well. I mean, that's not what you said, but that made me think of GTA. Because I remember the first time I played GTA at like a friend's house. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, oh my god, I'm just like running over these people, or just like on a quest to like rob a bank. Like this is so weird. Like I don't know, I was so bamboozled by it. Because when I was young, like played at a friend's house, parents were not gonna let me play Grand Theft Auto. Are you kidding me? They're like, no way. So those are my friends. I'm like, I mean, I didn't really have like a desire, or I didn't really have a like, oh, I have to find a way to get it. Like I wasn't that interested in it, but I was at a friend's. I was like curious to try it. Like, what's the big deal? It's just funny. It's just like menaces is like just now you're right. Some people do be driving like that. Like especially where around by me, people drive crazy. Yeah, and oh my god, you want to talk about driving? Don't drive stupid, guys. I just got rid of a ticket recently, and I was lucky enough to dodge the points, but it's a no turn during like school hours, and it's right by my house, and I always do it because it adds like 2 minutes to my 2 minutes to my route to work. Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it. This guy was waiting for me. He was camped out. He must have knew I did that turn consistently, or someone like tipped him off. Like I got snitched on for making right illegal right turns in the school zone. So allow me to explain. The school is here. My house is here, and then the parking lot's over here. So really, the traffic's all over here, and then there's another street next to me, and I usually go down this way and go down that street and then make a right. You're only supposed to, sorry, it's no right turn because all the traffic's flowing to the left. But really, the traffic's all by the parking lot. And when I'm leaving, it's past the time of the rush or whatever. So I go to make that right. And sure enough, this cop just, like, because all the traffic's flowing left. He's just sitting there waiting. And he just turns around to get me. So I'm sorry. It was a no right turn. It's so stupid. So stupid. I mean, I accept the loss. I understand. It is like the sign. It's the law. You got to listen, but rules. But I had to pay the price because I was able to dodge the points. I fought it in court. I pled not guilty, but then they're like, I mean, also I've never been to court. I don't know shit. So I was like, I did a little research before, and I was like, I'd like to plead not guilty. Or he's like, okay, this is your plea offer. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, I mean, basically, he's like, okay, we'll just fine you. We'll amend the charge. So there have been 3 points on my license, which means insurance charges, and God forbid something else happens. It could be in hot water. So, and I don't want my insurance premium going up. That's a lot of money over time. So he amended it, but it was like $450. Like, holy shit, for one turn. For one turn, try not to be late for work. And I was late for work. So don't be an idiot, guys. Drive smart. And I don't know if I ever shown you guys when the stupid Arizona tickets, the stupid traffic camp tickets, garbage. Like I'm an idiot, guys. I'm an idiot with driving lately. Do not be like me. I'm a menace on the roads. Just kidding. I'm really not even. But these stupid little things, if you're not careful. But funny, we're talking about like video games and driving. And I don't even drive like that. I don't even drive like that. And I got drilled with silly speed camera tickets because I'm on vacation, just vibing, and then being an idiot, making a right turn. Like I said, I own it. I made a mistake at the end of the day, but it's still like, you know what I mean? But I'm here for Min, Marantz. Thank you for being here. Marantz is the absolute GOAT. If you guys don't check him out, you gotta. He's the man. He's always putting great information out there. I've seen a bunch of his videos uploaded that, like I said, I haven't been watching GameStop, so I got to get caught up on them, but definitely caught my interest. Got to check them out soon. This says Modern Warfare 2009 is his favorite. It's a fact, Wendy. That's a fact. Diablo 4 just pre-ordered. Wendy says hi to Marantz. Meza says hi to Marantz. Gang's all here. But yeah, Marantz is an awesome dude. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, this is crazy. To go back to this real quick, the OG NFTs being implemented, and Zach Burks, James Morgan. I don't know who these are. Blaine. Oh, this one actually sounds familiar. And where are these at? Oh, in GitHub. Oh, he works for Gemini. Interesting. This is very interesting. See, this is what's nice about the blockchain. Transparency. I was able to click that. This is the protocol for NFT royalties. And who was it created by? I can see exactly. I get a link to them specifically. And then I say, okay, well, where's he at? Who's he associated with? Is it always going to be that perfect? Can it always be that perfect? No. But what I think is exciting, blockchain enables transparency. That is, to me, the most exciting thing about blockchain, and just overall most fascinating excuse me, most fascinating part to it is transparency. I was able to see who this guy is, and now I'm like, okay, well, let me check out who these other people are. Zach Perks, Fexy Cat, 2 contributions. Okay, interesting. See, that's very. It even has that. I wasn't even looking at that on the other one. So his work is just kind of publicly. Let's see, 30 contributions. Geez, this guy's constantly at it, and see, actively too. Still as of late. Still as of late. Pretty incredible. You could see literally this whole time. Wow. So this, I didn't even know about this. See, this is crazy. Look at this. Very, very interesting. And as blockchain develops and as more companies utilize it for various ways, and we just get more information and knowledge on it, I think more people will utilize it and just general understanding. And yeah, I'd seeing GameStop utilizing the technology is certainly exciting. It always is when a company is using something new. Is it truly going to work out? That is all what it boils down to. I think if the company continues to make smart financial decisions and just market their Web3 in a very simple way or through the actual games, marketing themselves, because I think GameStop's overall strategy isn't, to just throw their name GameStop out there in like commercials and stuff like that, or like internet ads. It doesn't really seem like their style or what they would want to go for, considering so many individuals follow the company so closely and just love the name. And even those that aren't invested in the stock that just love gaming, there's definitely diehards out there, right? So I guess what I'm saying is they don't need to market that much because they have people that are paying attention to things and at least get the ball rolling, and it can naturally market itself if these games are marketing themselves. But what I'm getting at here ultimately is, can the company become profitable, and what will they do with those profits? Those are just the facts. Those are the important questions that have to be answered over time. Seeing this right here, look, Curiverse times Buck Bunny. Amazing. Gotta love to see it. And imagine playing it like, can you play it on dead blocks too? Like that'd be crazy. I really want to play on dead blocks. It actually looks like a lot of fun. But again, I gotta get a computer, guys. And until I move out of here, thing is, I'm not really gonna like get a PC. Like I'm kind of trying to focus on using the money to get out. But at the same time, my whole YouTube here, this is set up as little LLC entity. So my goal is with anything I make from YouTube, like full disclosure, I'm monetized now, and like don't think I'm rolling in bread or anything like that. I literally just got like the first like $100 or whatever. Like, so my point is though, I'm trying to really commit to like investing it back in the channel because also learning and understanding the tax system. I understand if you reinvest in your business, you don't have a net profit, right? I don't want a net profit with Tetron right now. What is a few bucks going to do for me, I want to build my channel. And part of that is like making the stream better, eventually getting a better setup, getting a desktop. So over time, these are the things I'm kind of moving towards. So all of you being here, even just watching, and like I'm not trying to sell you like a stock course or anything like that. Like I'm just trying to be organic and just put out content and talk and just it's just the journey of Tetron. That's what I'm out here doing, and I'm really just trying to find a way to like push that forward. Like I have all these ideas, but you know, it's funny. I think lately, like GameStop, it all comes down to them executing, and I don't have any doubts they can execute. And I think the same for myself. I'm like, I believe in myself to execute, but I have to execute. Like I have all these thoughts and all these different ideas, but it's time to execute. If GameStop's gonna execute, I gotta execute. Don't I'm not saying my life's revolving around GameStop, but I don't know, just kind of some of my thoughts, guys. All off the dome here, always. But hey, better make your decisions now than your future Lambo. Whatever you say, Danza. Whatever you say, man. The worst of the cops were a a ball just feed. I got 2 of those completely false. I was innocent. Hey, attaboy, Challenger. Finessing. Building a PC2, buying parts every other week. That's a good idea, Wendy. Honestly, going part by part. And I actually met somebody recently who I've kind of become friendly with that said they could probably help me out in building a computer. Some good knowledge on it. So I'm like, all right, that's good. Time comes. But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to wait till I move out to necessarily build the PC. Just till, the funds are there and it becomes more of a priority. But definitely, I'm trying to game. I'm trying to like try out these games. I want to make content on these games. Just playing. I'll play with you guys. I'll play with whoever because again, it's generally growing the GameStop name. And if I'm gonna buy an NFT, like you bet your boots is about to be a GameStop NFT. If it can be, if it's from the company I love themselves, like look at this dude. He's freaking chilling, bro. You already know that one's about to be hella bread though because it's bad nice. Yeah, see? All of them. Anything from GameStop's gonna be money. You know why? Because individuals like the stock. Individuals like the company. Just think it's awesome. It's awesome just seeing it all happen so ever so slowly, but ever so greatly, right? I mean, it's just crazy. But got this, bro. Appreciate you, Crown King. Thank you. I know you've been with the channel a while watching. Appreciate you, man. But what was that? Try out. Oh, garbage. I thought I got another notification. Damn. But you know, it's funny. Somebody was showing. Last thing I'll say, and then I might have to wrap up the stream, guys. I'm just, like I said, tired and focused on trying to get some more stuff in tonight before I go to bed. So I want to like organize some stuff after. And unfortunately, I didn't have too much information prepared for today. So next week's streams are definitely gonna have more information prepared. You know, part of this whole getting organized thing I'm talking about. But last thing I want to say is, if you look at this picture right here, think of this for what it reminds you of. It's the hang in there from Roaring Kitty. That's what it looks like the poster. I am not a cat. Let's just see what comes up. It's funny, I'm typing that. There's a line on the screen. I am not a cat. Keith Gill. Hearing provides tense exchanges. Okay. Shut up, Jessica. Told. Okay. I just want to see the image of him. This is garbage. Okay. Pause this right away because I don't want copyright. Blah blah blah. Okay. Look at that shape, right? Looks like he's hanging on up top there. I mean, it could be nothing. It could be nothing. It could be. But, well, now it's kind of blocking it, but, yeah, I don't know. Now that I'm next to it, maybe whatever I saw was kind of stretching it a little bit, but, my eyes so dry. But it's certainly, interesting. It's certainly interesting. Not a cat, Keith Gill. Great website. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again here. Damn. Eyes bother me. Jimmy, favorite stock, but if you want to look up any stock, any information, these are the numbers to look at. Of course, you know, GameStop Investor Relations is always the best source, but look how strong their cash has been on hand since the whole January 2021 type of event. Had a little influx here. I'm not sure what happened, but you know, as you can see, since Ryan Cohen came aboard, the company's managed its cash much better. They had up to 1.7 billion at a point, but clearly they've spent on growing. But then quarter over quarter, you know, for the first time, cash actually went up. So I don't imagine it going below a billion, maybe down to 750 million at the lowest. And it's just like a random number out there. But what I'm saying here is I think the company's really focused on maintaining a strong balance sheet. And how they do that is, you know, cash on hand. You have to remember, if they still have $1 billion in cash, and right now the company's market cap is what, 6.25 billion, I think that's what it was before when I looked. See it? Yep, 6.25 billion. 1 billion of it is in cash right now. I mean, the company does sales of what? Let's just see the Yahoo Finance top line number here. 5.95 billion, right? I mean, in the analyst eyes, it's trajecting down. And generally in retail, you know, of course, not considering everything else GameStop's doing, kind of becoming more so towards a technology company, which they've said in the past, by the way, price of sales is usually one or less. So it's not that uncommon for it. So to the general market, GameStop is fair. This is what I think is funny. And when I just coming up with off the dome here, GameStop is seen by the regular like standards of the market as, I would say, like fairly valued right now, because it's like, okay, well, they have a lot of cash, and you know, price sales, it's kind of similar to their market cap, and there's no growth ahead, so it's fairly valued. You know, it makes sense where it's at in terms of valuation, but you just have to think, when the company starts making money and there is growth on the horizon and they look more like a technology company that only has profitable retail stores open, that has strong e-commerce operations, potentially expanding more so worldwide in the future, to really cracking the code on Web3 and just getting out there and being heavily involved in it and finding a way to profit on it just as a whole in terms of creating the NFT marketplace, etc., the script starts to flip, and all of a sudden, all the crazy individuals such as myself or yourself or crazy, right? That everybody thinks is just why are you so invested in this thing? It all starts to make sense, right? It all starts to make sense. And then at that point, it's too late because there's FOMO, there's squeezing, there's noise, there's this, there's that. So it everything, it's all about execution. And a little bit of a ramble here, but that's all. Right on point. Agree with you about Roaring Kitty. Could be. Almo, thank you for being here. Gotta go to work in 2 hours. Damn, Almo, you're always on the grind. Respect, respect. But don't worry, yeah, I mean, keep grinding, GameStop will go up soon. But nah, it's the vibes, just work hard, invest hard, party hard, play hard, go hard at life. You know what I mean? Just gotta go all out. But yeah, I gotta get Curaverse going. So I think I said this last time, but I have a desktop right now, but it's literally Windows 7, so like you can't really do anything on it. But it runs mad nice because it was someone who was a graphic designer beforehand. So, or I don't know, they did 3D design, something like that. So it has good like graphics cards and or I don't know that much about computers, but basically the parts like GPU, graphics cards, whatever, it's all pretty good. But thing is, because it was a really good PC at its time, but he got rid of it, and he actually is somebody who knows my grandmother, and she got it, and she's like, I don't need all this, She was like, this is a supercomputer. What am I gonna do with this? So I got her another computer, and then I took that one at that time because I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, finally, I have a computer that can run some good games and stuff like that. So that was pretty dope to me at the time because that was like what, middle school, and like I was running like I used to be a huge League of Legends guy. Low key, maybe I should play that one night. I mean, it should run on that computer. I just have to get OBS working, which should be fine. But League of Legends, I bet there's gonna be a Web3 League of Legends game if there isn't already. There always is. Like there's so many variations of League of Legends. That's what I mean. So it'd be interesting to see that. Uh, there's like a Web3 version of League. When that comes out, I'll definitely play with you guys, or I'll definitely have some friends hop on and play as well. That'd be exciting. Do like a Tetron tournament or something. That'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, I loved League. I don't know if any of you guys ever played League. League was so awesome. It's legendary. I bet if I went on now, I'd be one, trash, two, not know a bunch of characters. But something that's always fun is just every once in a while I'll go back. It's been a long time now, but if some friends hit me up or something, or if I'm like sick for a weekend, it's a good reminiscing time. And so another great game because I'm just thinking about because I literally have the Wii down here where I was talking about I run like games such as like Mario Kart, you know, Super Smash Bros. That one's awesome. Super Mario Sluggers. I actually streamed that on the channel once. That was awesome. That was legendary. Low key, maybe I should do that again. But it's all just a good time, with video games, and that's all what it boils down to with GameStop. They're providing, indirectly, so to speak, I guess, an experience where, or just something people desire to do or have passion for, so to speak. So I don't know. It's just such a fascinating saga because you have people passionate about the stock, people passionate about the company and what they do. And like I always laugh too when people are like, oh, GameStop, they don't give you like anything for your games. Like, huh, they're dying. Or oh, every time I go in there, there's like nobody in there. Like, why do people like enjoy talking negatively? Like they like when they just hear you're like heavily invested in something, people have said that to me, and I just think to myself, I'm like, I wouldn't share those thoughts with you if I felt that about your investment. Like it's like I don't care, but I just think of it as like because I'm looking at the person like in my head like what a stupid way to think, right? Like I wouldn't like I might have thoughts like that when I'm talking to someone about, but okay, whatever, and I would think let me try and actually listen to what they have to say. Like they wouldn't be talking about it unless they had some knowledge on it, right? And then if it's obvious they don't, then you could dismiss it. But I always just think it's funny when people who don't really have that much knowledge and they see what I'm doing, like they just don't really understand, and it's just funny. And it's also like funny because everyone at my job just knows I love GameStop, but they don't really know why. We had a work event and I wore my GameStop sweatshirt and like took it off, and or I think I don't know. Somebody basically told me that someone asked like, "Does he work at GameStop?" or something like an employee at the place you're at, or I don't even know, something like that. Mad funny, but the passion is there. The passion is absolutely there, and I've never seen the passion behind one stock, one company, the way I have seen with GameStop as I do right now. So I like the stock, and I think I'll leave it there. But it's all good, Almo. You can head to sleep. I think I myself am gonna do some research. I'm gonna listen back to Dave Lauer's thing, do some research on the stream, put it together some ideas, try and record a video tomorrow, and then get some shut eye myself. Because honestly, I gotta take better care of myself in terms of sleeping, just eating. I've been stuck. Something I'm recognizing lately, and why I guess I'm saying it, I'm trying to hold future Noah. If I ever watch this back, hold myself accountable. In the sense, I got out of college and I was always vibing and just hanging out, doing whatever, and but now I'm like it's probably time to like actually like have a sleep schedule, eat a little healthier, like adult things, which I'm sure there's plenty of adults out there that are not doing all that, and I'm not discrediting myself. I think I'm obviously an adult, like I'm not an idiot, like whatever. But what I'm saying here is, I think, getting yourself in line, I'm realizing just makes like everything easier. So let this be a message to you out there. If you're trying to better yourself in some way, go for it. I'm doing it. We're all doing it out here as individuals. You can get caught up in GameStop, you can love it and read about it, but go out there and make sure you better yourself in other ways, because it's easier, I feel like, when you do, to come back and then just focus and become knowledgeable on something when you just have yourself in order. And that's really, really what I'm trying to focus on, because I really believe in myself, and I'm not trying to be like an egotistic maniac or something, but I really feel like I could do something great with this channel and just really, really, really do something big with just, I don't know, YouTube, giving people information. I don't know. I don't know, but thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this journey, but I'm going to leave it there. Everyone have a nice evening. Thank you, Wendy. You too. You too. Everyone take care. Have a good night. Take care of yourself. Take care of your investment. Take care of your brain, your knowledge, your this, your that, whatever it is. I believe in you. Take care.